A Democrat congressman from Illinois, his name is Danny Davis, his grandson was killed in his home in Chicago over the weekend. It was a fight about shoes. Now, Davis says the city must be protected. Watch this.
The young fellow, 15 years old, happened to have had a gun and reached around the lady that he was with and shot my grandson.
Okay, Sheriff David Clarke is with us. Sheriff, you've seen the same thing as our audience has just seen. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, it rips your heart off, and my thoughts and prayers are with that family as they struggle with what just happened. But think of some of the things he said. You know, a 15-year-old with a firearm. You're talking about this senseless bloodshed over shoes. That's cultural dysfunction. This is the thing that Donald Trump talked about on the President-elect Donald Trump now talked about on the campaign trail about the lawlessness and the need for law and order in the American ghetto in cities like Chicago, where they now have over 700 homicides to date. Just in 2016 alone, and over 3,000 people have been shot in non-fatal shootings. He talked about a better quality of life for black people living in these violent communities. I think the nomination of Senator Jeff Sessions to be the next United States Attorney General is a good step in that direction to bring law and order back to these struggling communities.
I just had to bring this up as well. The mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, he says he's a sanctuary city, always has been, always will be. He's not going to deport illegal criminal immigrants because he says he wants to protect citizens. I mean, what do you make of this, too? This is Chicago. That's where that man's grandson was killed.
Look, Rahm Emanuel's lost. He has no clue. First of all, illegal aliens, illegal immigrants are not citizens. His duty and obligation first is to the law-abiding citizens of the city of Chicago. And in the end, it's not going to be up to him as to whether he will deport. That will be up to Immigrations and Customs Enforcement and the Border Patrol as well. So he won't have any say in this.
Sheriff, I need your comment on something that's happened over the last 24 hours. Police under attack again. In San Antonio, an officer shot and killed. He was making a traffic stop. In St. Louis, Missouri, an officer shot in the face while in traffic. That officer expected to survive. Two other incidents happened in Gladstone, Missouri and Sanibel, Florida, not yet being called ambushes. The first two, they were. Sheriff, now, this is an extraordinary development. All these four incidents taking place in the last 24 hours. Again, what do you make of this?
Well, this senseless slaughter of the American police officer continues. A lot of this has to do with the negative, dangerous rhetoric that has been bandied about over the last several years. This isn't anything recent. My heart and my prayers go out not only to the slain officers and the officers who will be expected to survive, but also to those cities that are grappling with this senseless violence against their community's finest. Again, this is another thing that President-elect Donald Trump talked about on the campaign trail, the support of the American police officer. We have the overwhelming support of the law-abiding people that we serve in our communities. And I think, too, that the nomination of Senator Jeff Sessions to be Attorney General will set a different tone. We'll have a United States Department of Justice that won't view the American police officer as an adversary, but they'll look at the American police officer as an ally in the pursuit of justice in the criminal element. And I think that narrative will go a long way into reducing. Nothing will totally eliminate this dangerous job, but reducing these senseless, unlawful attacks against the American police officers.
Senator Sessions is nominated to be the Attorney General, and all we're hearing is that maybe 30 years ago he made some racially insensitive remarks. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, you won't find a more fair, a more qualified, a more dedicated to the rule of law in the United States Constitution and justice for all person than Senator Jeff Sessions. Look, I'm tired of this stuff, this race card thing, this racist term is bandied about so much that it really doesn't have any effect anymore. When the left is out of legitimate excuses for wanting some sort of dialogue about somebody, they just call them a racist. They do it as if it's some sort of sport. I expect Senator Jeff Sessions to be, he's one of the most honored person, among his colleagues in the U.S. Senate as well. So this is nothing new. This is what, it's an automatic default from the left, just call somebody a racist. I know Jeff Sessions, Senator Sessions. I've met him. I've worked with him on Capitol Hill. He doesn't have a racist bone in his body.
Sheriff Clarke, as always, thank you for joining us, sir. Appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving, Stuart.
Yes, sir.